Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, I will show you how to bind JSON and remote data sources to the Vue Tab component. First, I will open an existing application where I have the Vue Tab component with its basic properties. To know how to get started with the Vue Tab component, refer to the video linked in the card above. I will run this application using the npm run dev command, and I'll show the initial demo. See that the tab component is rendered with the specified headers and content. Now, I will show you how to bind a JSON data source to the tab component. To do that, I remove the existing tab items from the tab component and add the created event with the event handler on create. This event will be triggered whenever a tab item is created. Then, I define the onCreate event handler and create a variable called object and assign the EJ2 instances. Then, I create a JSON data source named tabData with two fields, header and content. Here I have assigned appropriate data to the header and content fields. Next, I declare the array variable tab items. To this array, I am going to add this JSON list. So, let me iterate to the length of the tabData array and add the header and content fields to the array using the push method. Lastly, I assign this array to the items property of this instance object and refresh the component. You can now see the tab component is rendered with the defined JSON data source. Next, let's see how to bind data to the tab component from a remote data source. For that, I'm going to use the Syncfusion Data Manager library. This data manager acts as a gateway between the tab component and data source and uses queries to interact with both local and remote data sources. First, I import the data manager and the required adapter from its Syncfusion EJ2 data package. Inside the onCreate event handler, I comment out the existing JSON data source and initialize the data manager instance with its properties, URL and adapter. In the URL, I will be using the already available remote URL service, which will retrieve the list of data through post action and bind the resultant data to the tab component. Also, I have set the OData v4 adapter here, as the URL is assigned to the existing OData service. Now, I need to write a query to fetch the data from this remote URL. So, I will execute the query using the executeQuery method to define a query of type query and retrieve records from index 4 to 7 in the data source. If the data fetching is successful, I assign the resultant data to the variable tabData. Now, I need to assign fields to the tab header and content from the resultant data. So, I define a variable field mapping and assign the first name field to the tab header and the notes field to the tab content. Then, I proceed to assign the retrieved data to the tab header and content with the same logic I used before. It is also important to import the query class to access it. See now, the tab component is rendered with the remote data source. In this video, you have seen how to bind a JSON list and remote data to the tab component. If you would like to see a working example, you can download it from the GitHub link in the description below. I have also provided a link where you can see if you qualify for a free license key to use our Vue products through our community license. If you found this video useful, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.